There's a new 4 million goalkeeper in town, and here are 8 players that could change your game week 1 teams. Welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are well and you're enjoying pre-season and scouting. But our drafts might just be ripped up and started again if we keep getting transfers. Now, we're going to talk about 5 transfers that have happened this week and 3 that could happen this week. And if they do, we're going to be looking at players like Nico Jackson thinking, are they suitable for our early season squads? Now, of course, if Nico Jackson does end up at Newcastle, he is suspended for game week 1, but he's also £6.5 million. Now, that for a number 9 playing for Newcastle is exceptional value for money. Even if his finishing is off, Nico Jackson will get a huge amount of chances at Newcastle. He's also a striker that creates a lot of his own chances. He's a handful for defenders, and £6.5 million is a real tempter. Now, Newcastle start the season to Villa. Jackson would be suspended for that. Then it's Liverpool. But Leeds, Wolves, Bournemouth from game week 3 at £6.5 million, you surely don't hate it. I have polled this on Twitter, and it does appear that many perhaps don't like that idea. Would he be in your game week 1 squad? I asked. 65% said no, but there are 20% that said maybe and 15% that said yes. And I think here this is all about price point. If we're going with Nicholas Jackson or not, think about having a £6.5 million forward that you might want to start the season with. Don't necessarily bookmark a transfer, but consider switching from a Welbeck or a Strand Larsen to a Nico Jackson, or benching Nicholas Jackson the first couple of weeks and thinking I can have him from game week 3, because this is a legit option now if he lands at Newcastle. Now, we're going to talk about speculation on a couple of other transfers, but then I've got for you 5 transfers that have happened. And some of these 5, you want them straight in your game week 1 teams. Guys, do hit that like button and please do subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the video. Drop a comment and I'll respond to everyone as always. So look, we'll go from Nico Jackson to another player that's very likely coming to the Premier League and coming to Man United, and that's Benjamin Sesko. Now, he is a clinical finisher that comes with a huge reputation. He is still a kid. In Europe's top 5 leagues since August 2023, he scored more goals than all other under 23s. And that includes, of course, Bellingham, Wirtz, Musiala. They're like number 10s or attacking midfielders. Sesko's an out-and-out 9. But his record is very good for someone of his age. Don't forget, when Newcastle bought Alexander Isak, he had similar numbers to Sesko. And now look where Isak's at. Can Sesko follow in that footpath? We can see why Newcastle wanted him. Looks like Man United are going to get him. And if they do, it's an impressive looking 11 for Man United, right? Got some transfer market. But if you have an 11 with Mbeumo, Cunha behind Sesko, that's some front 3. A midfield that includes Amad Diallo as a wing back and Dorgu, Bruno and Mainu in the middle. I think that'll be Ugarte next to Fernandes, to be fair. And then a back 3 of Martinez, De Ligt or Maguire and Yoro. Like, it's shaping up for United to have a good start to the season. The problem with United is the fixtures are rough early on. The fixtures are rough and they'll probably avoid. But what will Sesko come in at? Well, look, Gyökeres came in at 9, but will probably have pens. We don't know if Sesko will have them. It's very unlikely because Bruno Fernandes is on pens there. And, even Cunha and Mbeumo aren't going to get a look in for pens. So look, forget about it. Sesko won't get pens. But could he come in at 8 million? 7.5. Remember, United players are much cheaper this season, other than those that have moved, like Cunha and Mbeumo and Bruno. The rest of it, I think we could get 8 million for Sesko. Could even get 7.5. Watch this space. So look, we'll go from. We'll do one more that could happen. Jack Grealish. Now he's linked with a few clubs. Everton, the favourites to land him, 6.5 million. Same price as Ndiaye, but you'd have to think Ndiaye probably won't play on the left. Does Ndiaye become the 10? Does Grealish become the 10? Everton have great fixtures to start the season. He's a real tempter at 6.5 million. So watch this space if he moves before game week 1. We'll talk about other Everton signings later in the show. But there's 3 that could happen. But now let's talk about some that actually have happened. And João Paulinha is really, really exciting. This is brilliant for 2 things. 1, he's a legit option at 5.5 in his own right. But 2, this makes every Spurs defender better because João Paulinha is a screen in front of the back 4. João Paulinha will absolutely help Spurs keep clean sheets. Make no doubt about that. So if he's going to help Spurs keep clean sheets, straight away it strengthens the appeal of Van de Ven, Romero, Adogwu Fit, Porro, even Vicario. But in his own right, at 5.5 million, this is a player that's going to be better at DEFCON than pretty much every other player in the game. He's that good. Was that good in his 2 seasons at Fulham. Now, let me show you some DEFCON stats on João Paulinha. So, over the last 4 seasons in FPL, remember, he's only been in FPL 2 of the last 4 seasons. He has picked up the joint third best total in the last 4 seasons and the 8th best total in the last 4 seasons. João Paulinha, if he was in the Premier League in the last 4 years, would almost certainly feature on this list 4 times. Well, no player features on it more than twice. Paulinha features on it twice. Declan Rice, when he was at West Ham, was brilliant for DEFCON, not so much at Arsenal. Paulinha's Fulham will be very similar to Paulinha's Spurs in terms of where he'll play on the football pitch. Declan Rice has moved from a 6 to an 8, hence his DEFCON has dropped off. Well, Paulinha, he's absolutely going to be a number 6 in that team now. He averages DEFCON points in 68% of his games in 22-23 and in 21-22 in 71% of his games. So, in a 10-game run, he is probably getting an additional 14 points. He's getting DEFCON in 7 of them. He's getting 14 extra points. Now, remember, Paulinha does pick up some yellow cards, but he's also going to benefit from a lot of clean sheet bonuses. That'll balance it out. Paulinha at 5.5 is worth consideration. Does he get goals and assists? Not really, but none of the 5.5s do. Remember, you could get a Caicedo who will produce similar. Paulinha's probably got a bit more goal threat than Caicedo. You can get Elliot Anderson who will produce similar. Elliot Anderson might still be the better pick. More assist threat because he takes some set pieces, probably more goal threat. But Paulinha's a real tempter at 5.5 million. I don't think I'll go there. I think Elliot Anderson's still the one. But I do think he's probably second. I think I rank Paulinha above Caicedo now, and I'm seeing Caicedo in 10% of teams. He's fairly highly owned, I think. So Paulinha worth consideration. The fixtures are favourable too. Burnley, Man City, Bournemouth, West Ham, Brighton. Is he going to come straight in for Burnley? Let's see. We've got a couple of games to judge Spurs. They've still got a pre-season friendly. They've got the Super Cup on Wednesday night against PSG. We'll all be watching that. Paulinha is a very good pickup. For Spurs, it will make the entire team better. Brilliant business. Okay, let's move on then from Paulinha and go to join my mini league if you fancy. Loads of people are asking me if I got a mini league. Well, I have. So yeah, it's here if you fancy. There's also, I'll drop a link in the description, but also check out Fantasy Football Scout. If you're not on Scout, their 47% off offer, I'm pretty sure ends this week. So you've got a couple of days left to make the most of it. It's recalculated all the DEFCON points. It's a brilliant resource in the members area. Check it out. I'll leave the QR code on the screen though. Okay, some signings that have happened. Guys, breaking news at Chelsea. Levi Colwill looks like he's picked up a pretty bad injury. Doesn't sound great for his game week 1 chances. I don't know if Hato's going to come into Levi Colwill's spot. He's certainly got a similar profile. He's a left back, left centre back. But at 5 million, I don't think you risk it. Is there now a 4.5 option at Chelsea? Does it make Chalobah better? Probably. Does it make Badiashile better? Probably, but still risky. Watch this space. But Chelsea left-sided centre-back, that's now a spot up for grabs. And you might be able to pick up a 4.5 million Chelsea defender, which is fairly interesting. I quite like Chalobah, but again, maybe they buy. Maybe Hato comes straight in. Let's watch their last pre-season friendly and see how they shape up. The fixtures for Chelsea are great, and they are one of the best defences in the league from last season. We know that. Let's move on from Hato, because not really an FPL option yet, to someone that is an FPL option, and that is Dewsbury-Hall. We're speaking about budget midfielders and the 5.5 million guys. You go down to 5 million and there's still good options. Baleba is a brilliant option and a ball recovery monster if he stays at Brighton or if he moves to Old Trafford, whatever. But Xhaka is the one I've got in my team at the moment. He'll take some set pieces at Sunderland, probably half, maybe even 2/3 of them. He'll get some ball recoveries, but he won't get many clean sheet points. And I still don't know quite how good his ball recoveries will be. He's not going to be Baleba or Elliot Anderson or Paulinha for ball recoveries, or Xhaka. But Dewsbury-Hall is a 5 million midfielder that's actually going to get attacking returns. This is a guy that will play often as a box-to-box midfielder or even as a number 10, where we saw him a lot at Chelsea when he did play, especially in the Europa Conference League, where his record and numbers are really good. Where does he fit in for Moyes? I expect to see him in the 10, but does he come straight into the 11? Again, let's watch this space for last pre-season friendlies. If he does, and I think he's probably been given assurances that he's going to be part of this 11 at at the new Everton Stadium. I was going to say Goodison Park there. What's the new Everton Stadium called? I don't know if they've got the naming rights yet. 5 million's exceptional value. And the fixtures are amazing. Leeds, Brighton, Wolves. I like Dewsbury-Hall very much. Villa, Liverpool. He's a real tempter at 5 million. Real tempter. It feels risky going game week 1, but I'm tempted because he's the only 5 million option that looks like he'll be a starter that scores goals and he'll get assists. Dangerous option there, landing for Everton and Moyes' men. Let's move on from Dewsbury-Hall to the gift of the game at the moment, and that is Dubravka. We still don't know he's going to be first choice, but I can't imagine you're going to leave Newcastle to join Burnley unless you're going to be number 1. Like, you're very happy at Newcastle, I'd have thought. He wasn't out of contract as far as I'm aware, but Burnley wanted a bit of Premier League experience. They want someone that can come in probably on fairly high wages for 1 season. Now, Dubravka's like, mid to late 30s? But can he come in and do a job? I think they've lost Trafford. They have signed another keeper, but I think Dubravka's coming to be number 1. And if he has, he's the only 4 million number 1 in the game. Kinski at Spurs has a chance of being a starter. Probably won't be. Dubravka, we think, has a very good chance of being a starter. He could start versus Spurs game week 1. And if he does, we should all have him in our teams, because if you're bench boosting early, you're not wasting money on that bench spot, right? You just go Dubravka, and then you have him on the bench. You just need him to play game week 2 when you bench boost, or game week 3 when you bench boost, or whatever. I'm personally looking at a bench boost game week 3. I still think he can get some save points versus Man United. Will he be a starter? That's the $1 million question. Let's see how Burnley line up this weekend. Last preseason games and minutes are going to matter for everyone in our analysis of if we think they'll be a starter, but also managers will be asked about key personnel. Like Maresca's going to be asked about Levi Colwill replacements. Dubravka, there'll be loads of questions about Dubravka, about who's your number 1 goalkeeper. So the press conferences will be key. The minutes preseason will be key. My hunch is that he'll be a starter, and he should be probably in the vast majority of teams. Guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. And of course, do like the video as well. Drop a comment, and I'll see you in 24 hours for another one. Bye-bye.